Hello, this is Steve from Beto's Leatherworks. Today's project is this Pierre Cardin shoes. Now, they're not bad shoes. Are they the best construction-wise? No. What you have here looks like a welt, stitch on welt. But unfortunately, it's just made out of plastic. And the heels are semi-molded with a thin leather veneer on top as a sole. It's been replaced before. It's well loved. This is all the way from Scotland. Scotland, across the pond. And the customer wants to basically completely redo them. We're gonna just take the bottoms apart, put a split welt, which is very similar looking to what he's got now. The midsole, JR soles, clean condition the uppers, make them look a lot better than what they are. So not only looks-wise it'll look good, structurally it'll be so much better than what it is now and will last them for many years to come. All right, let's get started. Now, these have been resoled before. I just sanded that down to break the stitches. Nailed in the shank. Most of the European people do this. We don't really see this in America. It's not really good to nail the shank area there. That's glued onto the uppers, and from inside of the shoe it's stitched together. Okay. If the stitching wasn't there, it would be just a glued-on construction. Okay. Very similar jobs, but just the stitching makes it a Blake stitched shoe, which the stitches are, a little more secure, holding the sole on to the shoe, to the uppers. This is not a very good quality construction. It's just a matter of glued on. You see it's molded one piece. The welt right there is all molded. It's not separate pieces. They just put this little thin leather on top of it, and they've got a little thin leather veneer on the sides of the heel to make it look like it's a stacked leather. We're going to change all that. All that's going to be removed. Obviously, we removed it. Midsole, welt, JR soles, leather heels base. We're gonna make this into a rapid Blake stitched shoe. I'll explain to you guys what the difference is as we go on. First, we got to disassemble it, inspect the shoe, and see what we can come up with. See, that's all it is. You got the uppers are simply just glued on to the footbed, and the sole comes on. That's it. Very simple construction. Not a very good construction, but it's a simple construction. That's the footbed. It's made out of fiberboard. It's paper. I'm thinking that might not be a bad idea to put a leather one there. And he's got holes in the lining. See where the toe hits, that big toe? We're going to put a small piece of leather to patch that up. All right, let's continue. Now the question becomes, what do we do here other than just patching it? We just remove this whole lining and replace it, which means a lot more work than anticipated. Got to be able to unstitch it from the tongue area, the side pieces right here, which is securing the lining together. I mean, I can't leave it like this now. With all that work I'm going to do to it, I should leave this like that and just patch it. That doesn't sound right. Okay, let's continue. You know, I think I knew the answer before I even asked it or I started talking about it. Yeah, the lining is out. You know, I couldn't leave it like that, man. There's no way. Look at this thing. You know, after all that work we're going to do, and to leave that just does not make sense. Okay. All right. It is what it is. It's just, you know, more work. And that footbed's got to be replaced with leather piece. I'm not going to leave that paper. Two major structures we had to, you know, update. So, all right, let's continue. Okay, so everything's cleaned out. I put a small little patch right there to fill in that void so it's not a dent there, a dip there, whatever you want to call it. Here's the new lining. Okay. Stitch the part of the tongue back. That's the back of the tongue. Now, I had to give this a little bit of a curve, right? Obviously, this shoe last is not the same shape as the shoe that I have. But I can use the toe area to stretch the leather, give it a little bit of a curve to semi-match that. Because if you don't do that, then the lining is going to get all bunched up at the toe and wrinkle, and it's not going to sit right. Or if you don't have a last, you can just literally just do this right here. And it'll curve the leather a little bit, you see? That'll give it a little bit of shape to follow the shape of the toe. Let's continue. Okay, so she is done with the new lining. Stitch the tongue back in. Stitch these side pieces back in. Now we get to work on the footbed. Now we have a structurally sound shoe. Once this is assembled onto the uppers like that, then we'll start the real work reconstructing the bottom. All right, let's continue. All right, this is called a split welt, okay? And normally we stitch the welt on the shoe, on a Goodyear welted shoe. But this one is a glued-on construction. So what we're going to do, we're going to glue the welt on, Blake stitched on. And then we're going to put soles on and stitch the welt to the midsole through the sole with our outsole stitcher. Oh, things are getting interesting. And that's what we call rapid Blake stitched. I'll go through the process in a little bit more detail as we get to that stage. There are some shoes that are built this way. It's not a very popular, but it is another form of construction. And she's dry. Look, burn a hole in my thumb. My thumb is okay because my glove was wet and it caught that on fire. Man, this business is hazard. Okay, so normally, as I was mentioning to you guys, on a Goodyear welted shoe, this is the stage where the welt starts to stitch to the shoe. Okay? Well, this is not a Goodyear welted shoe. This is a glued-on construction like we discussed earlier. And what I'm doing now is I'm just gluing a welt on there. Now, this isn't structural just yet. Okay? Most of the time, a storm welt or a split welt, which is very similar, is not used on this type of design. This is used. This is a glue-on welt, right? It doesn't have that vertical piece that goes on the uppers right there. It's glued on just like that. Okay, this is kind of out of the norm. We're doing this because the original one had similar welt pattern. Okay, you guys keeping up? So after we do this, we go ahead and put a midsole. Okay, pull the midsole on the shoe, Blake stitched. Okay, or we glue this midsole, we Blake stitch this to the shoe, and then when the sole comes, put an outsole stitched all the way around, which will make it look like that. That will be called a, what do we call that? Come on now, you guys don't remember? Rapid Blake stitched construction. Okay? Now I'm going to quiz you guys on this later. All right, you better remember. I'm not talking for no reason. Y'all better be paying attention. All right, so basically right there at the end, we just skive it. Like that. Make sure that lines up. Look at that. Man. Now that's what you call, what do we call that? A welt seam? I don't know what you call it. I call it badass, if you ask me. Oh, that just triggered somebody. Oh, you guys wait. Speaking of triggering, next week I got a video coming of a horrendous job that someone did. I mean, horrendous doesn't even describe it. It was blatant fraud that this person lied to this customer that they did the type of job. And guess what? It came in my hands. I'm going to dissect the shoe. And we're going to out the guy. Which is not right. You don't deceive people like that. It's not the right thing to do. Mistakes happen. Absolutely. I've made mistakes plenty of times before. But it's the fact that how do you resolve a mistake that defines you as a good businessman or a fraud like this guy is. Shame on him. You know what's going to hit the fan next week. Yeah, it's going to hit the fan. All right, let's focus on what we're doing. So, we fill this with cork. Okay? We're going to take this midsole. We're going to glue it on here. Now, we're going to do something different with this midsole. What we're going to do is we're going to cut. What the heck is cut? Cut. We're going to cut a cavity like that. Okay? We're going to cut that out, and we're going to put foam in there. So the idea behind this is that, one, when you've got new leather midsole, new soles, JR especially, it's very hard to bend. okay? When we take this piece out, now it becomes a little more flexible. And we're going to put some cushion right there. In turn, it's going to be a little more cushiony on the ball of the foot. Because I'm always hesitant in redoing a full footbed replacement without the customer being here, trying it on it, everything is gone. But it's not going to be uncomfortable. It's just going to go through a breaking period, that's all. So that's all the customer needs to do. Needs to kind of wear it, break it in, and be ready to go. All right, let's continue. Okay, we've got our midsoles on. We got the foam padding in the middle. Now we get the McKay Stitch It or Blake Stitch. They're both the same. This is a lock stitch machine because it's got a top and a bottom thread and it locks together like that. Okay. Okay, because we're filming, that's why it needs to act up. All right, let's try it again. Of course, no water. Oh, I hate when that's empty. No problem. Y'all know what time it is. Come on now. You watch me all this time. You don't know yet? That's right. I heard somebody say, it's hammer time. All right, let's get this sucker on here. Beautiful, beautiful. Now you guys understand my, you know, what I'm doing? When I say rapid Blake stitched, this is a rapid Blake stitched. It'll look like it's a Goodyear welt, but it's not. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Woohoo! Man, she's looking solid. The new footbed inside, new lining inside, new split welt, new midsole, new JR soles, new heel block, new dovetail heels. Man, she's gonna look nice. Woohoo! I can't wait till this is done. All right, let's continue. Wow. Look at the welt stitches. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Turned out good. It's getting there. Let's continue. So that's what we call an outsole stitcher, because it stitches on the outside of the sole. Hence, outsole. Just have to flatten these stitches down now. Okay, we're getting there. See how this mimics that? Wow. Very cool. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so I just realized that I had an 8:30 appointment across the street at the barber shop. I got an idea. Maybe I'll take you guys along to show the shop a little bit. It's a really, really cool shop. That'll give you an idea of what's around me in this neighborhood. All right, let's continue. You walk out of my shop. We got the neighborhood barber across the street. We're gonna go get our haircut today. Make sure traffic is stopped both ways. I guess we gotta wait for a little bit before traffic dies down. Get back. Alrighty then, how was everybody's day? Let's kill some time. This is West Broad Street is what it's called. Also Route 7. You take this way, you go to Old Town Alexandria, Potomac River, where it ends. You go this way, you go to Leesburg, that's west. All right, we got a little break. This is a very eclectic shop.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Neighborhood barber. And who may you be, sir?
Hey, what's up, buddy? I'm Dustin.
What's up?
How are you, man?
Good. You ready?
Oh, yeah, come on in.
Check out the shop, guys. Look at this.
Christmas time.
I mean, the more you look, the more you want to look. Awesome place. Woohoo! All right, let's continue. Maybe a little trim on the sides.
Yeah, for sure.
We could do a kilo long. I think we did 1.5.
Yeah.
On the two whatchamacallits.
Yep, a few more parts.
Yeah.
You check out our new Christmas cakes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Right.
Something that it's just, it is what it is.
Right. How about you guys? Are you slammed? That's good.
They're all in the back.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All right, Justin. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. You guys hit him up. Neighborhood barber. There's good people. All right. Let's continue. All right, back to work. All righty. This is my little porch. My Coke machine. Then and sit there smoking cigarettes. Lots of cigarettes. Welcome back. All right, let's continue. All right, welcome back. We are done with another project. I think it turned out pretty good. So you guys understand the concept of this rapid Blake stitched, right? This looks like a Goodyear welted stitch, okay? But it's not. This is a Blake, rapid Blake stitched, just like I explained it throughout the video. Got a nice dovetail heel with the brass nails, JR soles, midsole, new welt, new footbed, new lining inside. Now, there's a lot of extra that I did that was not looking forward, but didn't expect it, right? But once it's apart, you got to kind of evaluate the job and say, you know what, we need to do this, that to make it right. So we got it done that way. This is a solid shoe now. This almost looks like a Tricker's shoe. Okay, if you guys don't know about Tricker shoes, like it's made in England. It's wide, beefy. You know, Rogues are larger patterns. It kind of looks like that right now. All right, well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I need to get a shout out to, let me see, to Joe. I got a little gift the day before. You see that Cobra? I'm trying to see if you can get a picture. He remembers as a child that his grandfather worked in, whatchamacallit factory, Clark's factory, Clark's shoes. And he used to go there as a child. So watching my videos, he kind of reminds him of his childhood, I guess. So he came across this watch. He said it'd be perfect for me, and he's right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Joe. You guys are the best. Now, if you guys have any questions, please email me, Bedos, B-E-D-O-S, @yahoo.com, and I'll do my best to answer all your questions. Next week, we're going to have that video of that botched up repair job that somebody did, and I'm very disappointed in that person. And I'll let you guys know the backstory behind that, and you'll see that was not a very good thing that this person did. Thank you once again. I appreciate you guys watching me, and subscribe, thumbs up, comment, whatever you'd like to do, we'd greatly appreciate it. All right, we'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.